I'm in salad, and I got issues.
Oh yeah, those are good because of the now there's none of that.
We got Immortal Mask. Mortal Mask. 200 pages. Alright, so I'm going to rate this on the salad story method. The S for story, A for art, L for lettering, A for action, and D for drama. So how does Immortal Mask compare? So here's the story of Immortal Mask. You see, so we have, what we got here, we have Benjamin Frost. He's a journalist. He's looking into, he's just journalisting around, and he gets a call from a guy. His last name is Lawrence, like Mr. Lawrence. Edward Lawrence, to be specific. He's in prison. He's like, hey, could you, look into my case? I'm innocent. I've been framed, all the blah, 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 all that fun stuff. And also what's interesting is we have the department, the journalist department's like, hey, stop investigating this. Do not investigate any further. And so, of course, this Benjamin is like, I gotta look into this further. And so pretty much he looks into this further. What he finds out is that there's this chick who's like, oh, I'm also looking into this. And I should mention, now that I think about it, each character is like a character. Each person in the book is a person. And it's very convincing, and I really like that. So the Immortal Mask, after Benjamin is notified that there's a chick also looking into this evidence on Mr. Lawrence's framing. It's like, oh, what's going on here, right? They're getting a little bit too close to information, and so we have some dudes who are obviously framed him. It's like doing some calls, like, hey, could you check up on them, make sure they don't learn anything? Could you take care of them? Take care of our problem, please. And so there's a lot of there's actually not a lot of, but there's high tension moments when there is action and they're being chased and you have to leave. They're like, oh my goodness, obviously something is here because we're being chased after it. Obviously something fishy is happening here. And the closer and closer they get to it, to figuring out what's happening to Lawrence, the more people try to get him, And at the end of the day, I do they figured out who framed him. They took care of him in a pretty epic way. And then there's also the results of his resolving it was resolved. Okay, we found out who framed him. And that's just pretty much the nice, neat package of the book. That's pretty much the gist of the story. Like I said, the characters are individuals. There's a lot of details within each page. And I feel like each detail is very necessary for, figuring out who done did the framing and who, someone framed Mr. Lawrence for 6 murders, but he didn't do it. And somebody else did, but he was framed. He was framed because it seemed, by my impression, everyone who framed him hated him. They wanted to get rid of him, and he was just a nuisance. So that's what I gathered. Overall, I like the complexity of the story and how many details are in the story. So now we have the arts. I should mention, it opens with it's some sort of no text, all art. I don't know. I can't tell if this is part of the story or whatnot, because it seems like this beginning part is completely separate from this story that starts in the bulk of the book. So that's what I'm thinking. Also, I do like the art style here. There's 2 different art styles. So in the beginning, right before the actual story starts, and also after it ends, there's these no text pages, right? And it's okay, you see there's a lot of action here. At some points, it was hard for me to tell what was going on. Maybe it was too much lightness. Maybe it wasn't clear enough for me personally. It was hard for me to grasp what motion was happening here. But overall, I liked it. From this beginning, the only thing that I could gather from this beginning with no text, only like pictures, is that a guy from ceiling escapes from chains. Big monster appears. Another one appears. Facility explodes. Black Panther looking ass escapes. That's the Immortal Mask. And Lava Monsters now has armor, and there's a police report. So this is how we show Immortal Mask escaping, and this story takes place in the 70s. So I like that art style a lot. And then also there's this type of art style. Let's go to middle. I think it has just the right amount of details to convey a story. I don't see any issues with anatomy. It all just looks pretty solid. It's a pretty solid art book. It's very consistent between each characters, which I appreciate. Some of the colors, I guess I'm not like the hugest fan of the colors personally, but it's not distracting. I think the colors are done like that to be less distracting and more like complementary to the text bubbles. And oh boy, there's a lot of text bubbles. But overall, I like the art. I like the fight scenes a lot. I'll talk more about that when I get to the action part. So let's talk about the lettering, shall we? You know, I didn't notice any onomatopoeia reading this. If there is onomatopoeia, I probably missed it. It's probably like few and far between. But I do like the placement of the text bubbles in each panel. Like, here's a good example, right? We have like two characters are talking, right? But they're overlapping from each panel, but the placement of the bubbles makes it easy for me to understand which order is being talked. Like, who's saying what in which order. And I think it's pretty genius, honestly. I really like it. Okay, so here's an example. So we have another guy who's talking from a panel. He's talking from the other side of the panel, but his text bubble appears here first because this guy is being distracted by this guy coming in and like talking to him. And I really like that. Just the overall the bubbles. Oh boy, the bubbles are great. Easy to read. There's a lot of words, but I assure you the words are important. You need the words. So, the action. Let's say the action has to be closer towards the middle and the last third of the book. So the way that the book is written, there's a lot of tension being built, and then there's like some action, like, oh, the first time that you get caught by these dudes trying to prevent you from looking further into the framing of Edward Lawrence, right? That's an action. It's like, oh wow, that just appeared out of nowhere. This is the first action of the scene. Things are getting even more tense. And like then they have to like run from the police in a Chinese festival. It's like Chinese New Year is around the time that this takes place, and they have to like maneuver out of the way of the police. And so pretty much the last third of the book is just a bunch of action scenes, like police chasing them fighting, guns being shot. It's pretty cool. I really like it. But then the drama, though. I'd say the drama is integral to this book's story. Like, I'd say the drama starts, like, it builds a world. Even just, like, the first panel. And it's like, oh, wait, okay, so we are getting dialogue in between characters that establish their relationship. It starts off, they're, like, at a diner, right? And even, like, within the diner, you can see who's a regular there, who's respectful, who's not, you know. It's all fun. The drama, though, is, I think the drama starts to pick up right as we have his, like, top reporter, Benjamin Frost's boss. Benjamin Frost's boss is like, hey, don't investigate that. That's where the drama picks up. He's obviously like sneaking around trying to figure out information on like this guy, even like goes to his jail to have more find out more information. This is the drama. Oh boy. And then the drama peaks definitely when it goes like they're obviously people know who they are. People know where to find him because he's big, high red alert. Everyone needs to be on the lookout for Benjamin Frost. This is what he looks like. And I do like when they get into disguises, he's wearing the immortal mask, but then he gets caught wearing the immortal mask, and they still know what he looks like, and he's still just trying to maneuver out of them. That was pretty dramatic. I liked it. Overall, this is a pretty solid read. Immortal Mask, this took me about an hour to read, and I'm a pretty slow reader, so if you want something action-packed, a story about somebody being framed and the journalist trying to uncover the secrets. But of course, there's a bunch of people who don't want those secrets uncovered, so they're going to go after the journalist, which makes the journalist want to uncover those secrets more. It's so fun and cyclical. So, overall, I think I'd give the story, oh boy, this is a solid story. And it wrapped up pretty neatly. It's bow tie, you know? Nice bow tie of a story. So, overall, I give the story, it's a solid 4.5. The action is a solid 4. The lettering is a solid 4. The art is a solid 4. And the drama is like a 4.5. And what math is that? Oh my goodness, why do I do figures that I don't know how to add? Okay. What is that? 12 plus 9? That's 21 out of 25. And that's been the issue that I got with Immortal Mask. Woohoo! That's what I got.
Oh yeah,